Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Now, you may have heard there's a new Godzilla and Kong movie out, and it's got a new monster in it called Shimo, but unfortunately, when I went to buy the toy, Amazon was all sold out. So I thought, hey, let's just make my own. And I found this absolute gem online by a guy called Dope Pope, because I haven't seen the movie, not a lot online, don't know what she looks like, and this was my baseline. So, in starting to make an armature, I got some tracing paper, literally just placed it over my laptop screen, pencil, trace it. Now, the armature wire that I'm using here is steel, it's using fences. Why, you ask? Because I hate myself and I can't find aluminium wire because I live on a little island in the Pacific and craft shops are few and far between. That said, though, I could get my hands on some millipore, which is I don't know what you call it, a two-part clay of sorts, and you just take part one, part two, knead them together for 7 minutes. It says very specific, or very Pacific, depends on what your speech impediment is, and then you just throw it on the joints. Hopefully that stays together. It did not for me. Always wear gloves, by the way. And yeah, that's as good as it gets. Covered it in aluminium foil because I'm European, or I covered it in aluminum foil if I'm American. Now got a thin base of clay and wrap that puppy up like it's a kebab, and then instantly beefcake. You can see I've even got the little pointy end there. So, just bulking out the body. It doesn't really seem to matter when you're making monsters. They seem to have a similar biology to animals in the real world. So you saw your quads, your traps, your biceps, traps. I've said traps already, haven't I? Lats, metacarpals, fingers, toes, tails. You know, all stuff that humans have. And that's my lunchbox of claws. I baked them off screen a long time ago because I have lots of them. And just sizing up the second foot, make sure that it's all okay. And I don't know, are you averse to having your fingertips chopped off? But that's what makes a monster a monster. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Add those knuckles. Metacarpals will go in afterward, and then use a ball stylus to hopefully make it look like how a monster would look. I wasn't a huge fan of the forearm I did before, so I put on a new one. Chopped off the old one, threw it away, gave it to the neighborhood cats, and then beefed up the neck. Just put a hand on there. Now the grey clay, if you don't know, is super sculpty and it gets pretty firm. And I gotta push some crystals into this later, so I hollowed at the back with the intention of putting in regular super sculpty, which you'll see is pink, which is really soft. And on the back leg, I'm working out how to do the leg folds. So it's got a central delineation that just none of this works, by the way. This is all just good intentions, and it was terrible. So it did not get any better than this. And what I ended up going with was taking my steel ruler with really thin sheets of clay and doing some overlaps. So you start at the bottom and you work your way up, because then you always get that nice overlap like you do there, and then just go full ham with the stylus and with a silicone shaper for the rest. Because I figure it's going to take a dry brush. Just start cutting into her. Gives a nice depth, gives a nice texture. Again, I have absolutely no idea what she's supposed to look like. Haven't seen the movie, and don't know what color she is, what her face is like. All I have to go by is some fan art online, which was 6-year-olds with crayons and Dope Pope's render. Is she scaly? Is she dimply? Is she reptilian? No idea. For the undercarriage, much like the leg, I tried scoring in where I thought things would go and it didn't work, so I went to I went to the pasta maker and started chopping out these bits and covered her in an unnecessary amount of Bacon Bond. If anybody doesn't know, Bacon Bond is a product by Sculpt. Comes in a small little tube and has a nozzle. It's essentially like glue for clay, but it hardens when you bake it, and it doesn't stick to you or your clothes. It's pretty good stuff. And then to the undercarriage, we got a steel tool with some cling film. The cling film, or any kind of plastic sheeting, just it really helps with taking away harsh lines and that sandy texture that can come when you cut clay. And with a clay extruder, I've tried to make some lateral lines. If you don't know what lateral lines are, check it out with sharks. They use them for stuffing things. It goes down there. And the clay extruder I would never buy for myself. I would literally just roll it out like a sausage roll. But my partner bought me that because she loves me more than I deserve. And with my sharp silicone shaper, I'm going to spend far more time on this than I should. As I record this, realizing that I'm spending far too much time on this on a Saturday. Hurry up. Keep going. Come on, man. Get to the point. Really? Come on. Get to the point. Dude. Jesus. Okay, so we added a little something down there to cover that seam between the undercarriage and the top carriage. And then off camera, I will add dimples to where the spines start. Well, spikes. Spines? Spikes? What do we call them? Comment below. Spike crystals. Acne. But we'll do that down both sides. And then she's gone in the oven now and been baked for maybe 20-25 minutes. So that whole segment that you see now is completely hardened and it's plastic. So we can comfortably wedge in this top bit without worrying about deforming any of the flesh that's already been done. And that's where the crystals come in. Now, the crystals, oddly enough, I really enjoyed. It was a lot of fun because even though I had to make so many of them, because her entire back is crystal, her tail's crystal, she has a tiara, like a biological tiara of crystals. It was still a lot of fun. I mean, as you can see here, because you take hard clay, you don't condition it in any way. Conditioning is the softening of it to make it more pliable. But if you actually just take it hard and get a nice blade, you get them from the pound shop, dollar store, for next to nothing. Then you can actually just get these really nice sharp lines that will take an edge highlight really well, which I can't show you what somebody else could because I'm a terrible painter, which will be demonstrated in 2 or 3 minutes if you stick around. Like, share, subscribe. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know how to get sound effects yet for all those boop, 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 boops. But hey, 1% better every video. That's what they say, right? Next time. So they've all been baked already. He's got his boxing gloves on. Just finagle them into pointy little fingers. And then we're on to the head. And 1, 2, 3. Boom! Best edit ever, right? So that's the roof of the mouth. Just trying to smooth that out, which makes absolutely no sense because the mouth's closed by the time I'm done, pretty much. And the head is far too triangular. It should have been much more narrow, but yeah. that was just something that came afterward. I didn't, you know, again, first time doing it, so give it a whack, give it a whirl. Take the really thinned out blue paint after basing it white and just yeah, thin wash. All the crystals get painted blue, which oh, after this I saw the movie, so I added some pink. I'm not sure if it makes it better or worse. Yeah, so I got most of the way through making it, and then I saw the movie. And with the base, there's no real context to the base other than I wanted to try out silicone caulking, and this was my first opportunity, so I got 2 pieces of XPS foam and I made Shimo standing on the shore, which I'm not a fan. The caulking didn't work at all. I don't know if I got the wrong caulking. I thought I got clear. The stuff smells terrible. Stank out the house for days. I had to move it to the garage, and then I had to move it to the playroom or the activities room. It just had to move around. It could not stay in the living room. It just smelled so bad. It nasty. And here I'm doing Mod Podge and black acrylic. Full transparency. Don't know why. It just seems to be what everybody online tells you to do. Much like the next step, which is a base. Zenithal highlight. Just 1, 2, 3. Boom. I'm not onto wet palettes yet. That seems to be something that everybody talks about, but I'm not ready. I'm still far too immature in my crafting world to deal with a wet palette. So I'll just go ahead and paint all these blue styrofoam pieces, black, white, then blue again, and then pink because they look too much like the blue from the start. And I was painting the base blue because I wanted the silicone to be clear. Foreshadowing. You will see it is anything but. It's terrible. Shimo's in place. I think it was a 1:4 ratio of water to Mod Podge. Just paint that on, then just cover that in flocking. Absolutely cover it. Because you just tip it over and then put a sock on the end of your vacuum or Hoover and just whip up the excess. This actually takes longer to dry than people tell you. Like you do that and just go to bed, go to work the next day, and then come home and start again. It takes hours to dry. Got some dandelion flock and some gravel as well. The intention was to buy snow. I thought I picked up snow. I went to the till and then I went home and I had a handful of gravel and I thought, well, hey, listen, if I bought gravel, I'm using gravel. And then I went back and got more snow because I meant to buy snow and she's a frost monster and she needs snow where she stands, right? Here it is, bloody caulking. All of the crafters seem to get away with it. YouTube, lie to me! With a finger full of isopropyl alcohol, you can soften it out. Which again, I was hopeful. I thought it would be clear. But it did absolutely nothing. to make some sea foam, I just took some snow, flocking, and some Mod Podge, and mixed that up and started applying it to the edge where the legs would hit. I put it around the crystals as well. I mean, it dried okay, but I just think that with the silicone looking as bad as it is, yeah, just atrocious. And what's happening here, God knows. You're looking at my hand, just doing a thing. That's the secret for the ages. Lastly, I got some white acrylic and applied that to the raised edges of the silicone to put highlights on the waves. Just make it look like it was doing something. I mean, you can see I've added some snow around her feet as well. But that is Shimo. Thank you all so much for hanging around, paying attention. If you like this, if you want to see more monsters, let me know, because I'm kind of curious myself. Like, share, subscribe. Take care. Slán leat.